Free pick.
Over.
Okay. Big matchup in the Big D here at pregame.com as we feature the Giants and the Cowboys. This is a free pick from Marco D'Angelo. The Giants opened a 1-point underdog on Sunday late afternoon when the lines came out. They are now laying as much as 2 as we speak. Also, as we shoot this video, folks, we're seeing agreement between the so-called respected money and the public money. 88% of the people that have placed a side ticket on this game, according to Sportsbook Spy, have bet the Giants, and the line's moving that way. So we don't always see the respected money and the public money, Marco, coming in on the same side.
No, you don't, and especially involving a Dallas game, because Dallas is usually the team that's the public team that gets the money. Both of these teams are lucky to be coming into this week with a win, because both teams should have lost last week the way they played. The Giants, if we want to make an excuse for them, you could either say, you know, RG3 is really tough to defend, or you could say this was a perfect sandwich spot last week. Even though it was a division game against Washington, they were coming up a monumental win against the 49ers, a big statement game for them, and then having this huge revenge game coming up this week. Dallas, I don't know. I'm tired of trying to make excuses for the Cowboys this year. They should have beat Baltimore 2 weeks ago. Horrible clock management at the end of the game and cost them that game. And then last week they got lucky. Carolina should have beat them last week, and Dallas got the cover only because they ended up kicking a field goal late in the game. They were sitting on 2 and the line was 2.5, and they kicked that field goal for the 5-point win. So we got two teams that are not moving very well right now. We're going to have a winner. I'll tell you it in a little bit, but it's not going to be on the game.
Okay, so it's not going to be on the game. It's going to be on another game. No, it'll be on the total, I suspect. Anyway, sorry to be a smart ass.
It's better than being a dumbass.
There you go.
There's a tease.
Tony, Marco said something at the top of his analysis. It's that he said these two teams, neither one should have won last week. It's kind of the MO of these two teams. First of all, the New York Giants, they tick everybody off. They go 9-7 every year, and then they end up in the Super Bowl. But the thing is that it's their MO to find ways to win. It's the Cowboys' MO to find ways to lose close games.
You summed them up real well. To me, the Giants' advantage here is they're on the road. They're a better team on the road, I believe, especially in the gaming world. They're not so good, laying the 7-10 at home, but they have been tremendous on the road the last couple of years. I think there's a couple of key factors here, and I think there are injuries. DeMarco Murray not being in for Dallas at running back, I think that's a huge thing for a negative for Dallas. You're not getting a healthy Felix Jones, so I think they're really going to struggle to run the ball. And in defensive side, Sean Lee, their leading tackler, is out. So I think there's some real negatives on the Dallas side, and then you got the Giants on the road. Two teams tough to figure out.
I think I want to see if Marco's going to do the Victor Cruz salsa move here. He does it from time to time when nobody's looking. But anyway, no, good points that you made. And when I look, Marco, at what Dallas has done, you mentioned the Baltimore game. They lose the game 31-29. They cover the spread. They outgained the Ravens 481-316. They outgained Chicago 430-360. But yet they find a way to lose. They were dominant in that opening week matchup against the Giants. That, of course, being played on New York's home turf, and I remember watching the contest, and right from the start you could see the Giants were as flat as could be. But after the game, it was funny because you saw a little bit of celebration out of the Cowboy players that you don't typically see in a week 1 game. And I saw Eli Manning being interviewed afterwards. He was like, whatever. Like he just got involved in a scrimmage that didn't quite go his way. Everything will be fine. And here we are 6-7 weeks later. Everything's fine for the New York Giants. And as Tony mentioned, you not only got Dallas finding ways to lose again, but you got all these injuries to add into it. This is your free pick. What say you, sir?
Well, guys, we're going to go to the total in this game. And if you remember back in week 1, it was a game in which the score was 24-17. They went under the total. The over-under in that game was 45.5. Yet this one comes out at 47.5. They went under the first time, and yet the total's higher. We look at what the teams have been doing. Dallas has gone under 4 of their last 6 games, and the Giants have gone under 4 of their last 5. So why did Vegas make this line higher for the total? They want you to bet the under. I'm not falling for it. We're going to go with the over, and I'm going to tell you why. The last 2 games in this series have gone under. But the first game this year was played in week 1. The offenses aren't in sync yet. You're just coming out of preseason football. You're not clicking on all cylinders yet. The second meeting going back was last year in January, played in New York. Tony Romo had a hurt hand in that game, and there was wet conditions in that game. It was not a great game for the over. You take the 5 previous games between these two teams, take those two out of the mix, they have averaged 63.8 points per game when these two hook up in a second meeting, normal situation later in the year. That's what you're going to see here. Plus the injury to the running back, DeMarco Murray. They're not going to be able to eat clock, Dallas, trying to run the ball. They're going to have to put the ball in Tony Romo's hand. Either he's going to have a good game throwing it to Cowboy receivers, or he'll do like he did on Monday Night Football and throw it to the defenders. Either way, I love when Tony Romo throws the ball. This game goes over the total. Take Dallas Giants over. I've got a projected score of 57 points in this one.
He's going to have to get rid of the ball quickly, too, which helps out because you got this Dallas offensive line that's going to face speed rushers for New York on the ends. And the New York Giants finally found their rush attack against San Francisco a couple weeks ago, made life miserable on Alex Smith. Yeah, what Tony said about the injury to the running back, Murray, I think that makes them have to pass the ball. And I like your analysis of saying he's going to go one way or the other. It's either going to land in a Cowboy arms or Giant arms, but one way or another, it's probably not going to hit the turf too often. And as far as the Giants, how about this stat? Last 5 games, Eli Manning has been sacked just 1 time. That's how well this Giants offensive line is played. So Marco's free pick, he says take the over between the Giants and the Cowboys. We got picks coming all Sunday long, and of course Monday Night Football right here at pregame.tv.